feeding, recommending science that. I mean, I think it's great to try to apply for a grant, but we could not agree to those terms of the grant. And I don't know, you may be able to tell me, Jill, does this would apply to a private shelter or a government-run shelter?
Government-run.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a private shelter could, if it's a .com, probably would have no problem with
Okay,
that.
well, what about this,
Mhm.
Judge Riley? We don't even use the website for the shelter. We're using Facebook.
As long as it's not advertised on our website.
Well, but this is saying
The
that,
Spencer County Animal Shelter doesn't use the .gov, it's got its own website, spencercountyanimalshelter.com.
But they're asking if we get that grant to put it on that website. And what you could do is you could go back to them and ask them, can we not put it on the website because it's against our rules?
I mean, there has
Well,
to
this
be
is-
some way around this because shelters, we've got a list here of shelters that are doing this, that are government-run. And I don't understand. I mean,
well, now this is new information that I didn't have before, that you,
Did
what
you-
counties are you?
Okay, may I see would you just turn it around in your hand, what you have there? I think
This
you
is
have
the
what I have.
information about the science.
Okay, and I had brought a
Diet
copy of it for
grant.
all of you. Glad to give you one if you want it, unless you just have it in your hands. And on the back of it, I could have run off a lot of pages, but honestly, I just didn't want to keep running pages off. But I was looking up some of the organizations and counties that
Yeah, that's this.
are
Yeah.
utilizing the program, and the Kentucky Humane Society is one. There's several in the state of Kentucky, and like I said, I just grabbed a couple that were close by to show some that were using the program. I think I accidentally gave it
Thank
to
you,
you.
Aaron, or Lynette. And Lynette.
But basically what's been going on is, of course, the Friends of the Animal Shelter, we're just a nonprofit, but we do a lot of work or supplement in a lot of ways, things that the court doesn't have to pay for because we do. And, one of the things is dog food. So just kind of on a quick average, first of all, the county has not been paying for dog food that we're aware of, and when for at least since Jill has been volunteering, so at a minimum of 5 years. The amount of dog food that they feed, just as a rough estimate, if you're paying $35 for a 30-pound bag of dog food, and they're feeding that per day, over a year's time, you're going to spend a little over $5,200. So what had been happening is that Jill, who's been volunteering there for years, which is another thing that you're just getting an added benefit there with her hours there. But the program would, like they say, they will feed the animals in the shelter, and what they want to do is for you to give a bag of dog food home with an adopter so that they can start the animal on that kind of dog food. And what Jill had been doing was just going to donors who were sympathetic to the cause of the animals and things, and asking them finally, over years developing relationships and getting a couple of them that donated such a great amount of money, and they would come and bring dog food on pallets. And so they'd also, just on the advice of the director that was Melvin Gore, and then I guess we've just kept on after that since Jill started when he was on there, staying with a certain brand of dog food because their systems are so a lot of times so upset that if you can just start them on something more simple and easy on their stomach, you won't have as much cleaning to do. But we got, the feeding of the dogs really is your responsibility.
And a lot of other things too, that I've talked to each one of you about, but I won't go there.
And
And it's very much appreciated.
Yeah.
I hope you know.
thank you for saying that. So I just think, if our donors now are not going to donate money for food, so it comes down to one of a couple of
Is it because
things.
of this grant, or,
Yes.
but,
and-
let me just ask you this, if
Sure.
I may, okay? And you've just given me information that I didn't have. You've talked to other counties
Yes.
that are participating in this grant.
Yes, and I have a
A
few
lot,
of them
not all
attached.
counties use a .gov domain for their website, so we need to
Can we
look
not
at it.
change that?
I'm sorry?
Can you not change that?
We won't change that, but
I mean, we're
this
not
is,
using
this
it
is
as
what
shelter.
we're dealing with, is because we have the .gov, and I think I asked, can't Friends apply for this grant?
No.
And the answer was no, because you're not running the shelter. So it has to be fiscal court that applies for the grant. Well, under the guidelines and the details of the grant, this is sign an agreement to feed and recommend science diet pet food exclusively, and there's some other things on here, but display in shelter signage announcing participation in the program and display on the organization's website landing page the Hills Food logo with an active link to Hills Food. This is where we have,
The organization's landing page, which is
that's us,
.com.
But, John, that's what I was trying to say, and I was the director slash the, on the Friends when this subject come up, so I'm only speaking from past tense. The county has the .gov site, but the county also has a www.scasky, which is Spencer County Animal Shelter, whatever, I'll get you exactly.
Is that active? I mean, who
And that
maintains
is-
it?
That is active, and the county maintains it, but when I say maintains it, they pay the hosting fees.
That's it.
The site hasn't been
Yes, sir.
updated in quite a while, but,
Sue Schaefer.
but what I'm trying to say is, that they say the landing site. I also work in computers, I'm telling you, the landing site would be www.theanimalshelter, Spencer County Animal Shelter, it wouldn't be the
.gov.
.gov. So I'm not saying that you're wrong, what I'm saying is that we could make that the landing site and part of that grant and probably be okay with it, is what I'm
And
trying
the
to
county
say.
has the link,
Correct.
to the
You don't have
landing
to
site.
put the .gov.
not the county's website.
You know,
It doesn't need to be on the Spencer County KY.gov. And
Yeah,
what we're
okay,
trying
this
to
is
do is she had come up with that program and its value on the low end is $5,200 if you're just having an average year. It's just a win-win for everybody.
oh, no, I get that. What I'm gonna ask y'all to do, help me to understand how, and the county attorney, of how we get around,
Just did.
this.
Just did it. We
If
just
that,
did.
if that's the case, then I'm okay with it. All I know is that I read this, and then I read what is required on our .gov,
But
so,
we just did a little bit further research than just looking at it. I think Jill just got a quick no, and
Well, I tried to explain
but
this.
this
and
is
you
why, do
yelled
you
at me.
understand why I said, well,
Okay.
we can't agree to that because of our .gov. Now,
I understand that, John, but I
Okay.
was trying to explain it to you, and
Okay.
you got mad and yelled at me, and I hung up.
oh, but, Jill, okay, all right. I will work with the county attorney, and will you work with the county attorney and help him understand? I just want to make sure that what we do is correct and acceptable. That's all, that's all. I'm not asking for any more. And it was a showstopper when I saw this criteria on the .gov website. You're giving me more information than we had before. Now, please, no. So I'm gonna ask that you work with the county attorney. You, don't work with me on this, please, okay?
Well, the only
work with the
reason I
county
came to
attorney,
you in
make
the
sure
first
he's
place is you
comfortable,
asked
and
me
if the
to.
county attorney says, hey, we're good to go, we can do what they wanna do, you got my vote, okay? Does that sound fair enough?
Well,
Is it-
can I be honest, John, I just found the program kind of, I mean, just as a volunteer. I'm just a volunteer at the shelter.
Mhm.
So
Well, and
it's
you're also an officer with the Friends of the Animal
I am.
Shelter, and,
I
you
am.
know, the tremendous support that your all's organization has lent to this shelter, and, I mean, it's just, it's fantastic. You know, I mean, I object, I mean, little Larry can call whatever he wants, but,
Well, he doesn't have anything to do with
well,
what we're doing here
I understand, but,
today.
but, look,
We're professional and coming before you guys, asking you, because we're not gonna supply the dog food anymore. And we want the dogs to get good food.
well, I'm kind of, and maybe I'm misreading this, maybe not. I'm kind of
We
getting the
have nothing
feeling
to
that
do with any of
you're
this.
mad at me because I point out what this is, and that was sent to David. If there's a way around this, let's work together, you help me, you help Ken.
What was sent to
Like I say, I
David?
don't, I just assume you work with Ken
Same
because,
time.
I think there's some misunderstanding, it seems like it, every time I turn
I
around, so.
understood
So I'd rather you work with Ken, Ken's a great guy to work with.
You know, I would
Let's
be glad
get,
to work.
does that
with
sound
them.
fair enough, if we can figure out, if she and Ken can figure out a way around this?
Ken, this is a one-page, simple little thing. I think if we just think around the box a little bit, it doesn't require us to put it on the .gov website. We put it on the landing page of it's like he said, Friends of Spencer Animal Shelter, KY.com.
Wait a minute, I don't think,
No, here's,
It's
just a suggestion. We
SCAA.
have, the county owns a and I'll give you to exactly, but it's SCASKY, which is Spencer County Animal Shelter.
KY.
KY.com, okay? Which, like I said, we really got that for an email address and so that we can have an address to put on business cards and stuff like that. It's really not maintained. But we make that our landing site. But what they're really gonna do is take it from that landing site and just forward it on over to either the Friends page or to the Facebook page. But for legality, we would forward it over to the WW Spencer County. You follow me, Ken. You follow me.
let me ask this, would it be reasonable to think that, well, why doesn't somebody, and
Well,
guess
they-
I would prefer, there's no trust with me, I get that, but, have Ken maybe contact Hills and run it by them and say, is it okay if we apply for this grant as fiscal court, and that your requirement for advertising and so forth be put on another website, not our main .gov website? Because that's where we have a problem, is the .gov. If they say, yeah, sure, you can do that,
They did, Danny.
that's fine.